I think God has blessed us. He's blessed the Republican Party with some very good candidates. The Democrats can't even find one.
If you were looking for answers to questions of issues in the first GOP debate, we can only guess that you have never watched a political debate before. So where was the meat? Where was the solid campaign building ideas that people should not overlook? Ask someone who has been in the Beltway trenches and understands the dynamic. We will. Welcome back the former United States Secretary of Education, prolific author, and first director of the Office of National Drug Control Policy, William Bennett. Secretary, thank you so much for joining us. And I have to ask you right off the top, here is the gold-plated elephant in the GOP room these days. Did Donald Trump prove that he is worthy of being president?
He certainly did not. I think he self-destructed last night. I'm really amazed at the commentary that's going on about it. He had a good night. He had a pretty good night. Well, a couple of mistakes, but he was okay. Look, he was asked straight up if he would use the nuclear option to destroy the Republican Party, if he would take a promise, a pledge, not to use that nuclear option. And he wouldn't take it. We all know what a third-party run means. A third-party run by Trump will mean that Hillary Clinton is the next president of the United States. The failure to take that pledge, promise to do that, I think eliminates him, auto-eliminate him from that stage. And then he made a ridiculous comment afterwards. I don't know if you remember that. He said, now, if I'm the nominee, I promise I won't take that option. Well, heck, if he's the nominee of the Republican Party, he won't take the third-party option. No kidding. But I think that was a signal failure, and he should be out on that basis.
When you then get down to looking what everybody else did and taking into account what you just said, in your opinion then, who blew through all of the hyperbole and actually talked about issues and made the American people believe that he could be president?
I don't know that anybody blew through, but I think people edged forward. And some people didn't hurt themselves. I think Rubio, he is so articulate. He's eloquent. It's music in his voice. He's a persuasive guy. He's got a great story. I think he did well. Ted Cruz, in a more limited, contained way, very intellectual way, I think did well. Huckabee was his folksy self. The most charming person up there was Dr. Carson. I don't know that he showed he should be president, but who was it? Morgan Freeman, who was president in that movie when the
yes,
media
it was the movie Deep Impact, as a matter of fact. Yes,
sudden impact. Well, if we're going to have a meteor strike Earth and blow us up, I think I want Dr. Carson in there, and just to reassure me, I'd feel better with that kind of doctor. There were some other decent performances. I got to tell you, I thought Jeb Bush, and I don't have a dog in this fight. Jeb Bush, I thought, was just kind of low voltage. Peggy Noonan said today that his pilot light was low. I think that's right.
Do you think he's just laying low, though, purposely? Do you think he's just kind of laying low purposely at this point and letting everybody else burn out?
I don't think so. I mean, I know he's collected a lot of money, but you got to connect with the voters as soon as you possibly can. Kasich, of course, it was a home game for him. The Browns were at home last night, but he did well. He's valuable. He reminds people of the Jack Kemp kind of posture, and I think he did decently. The other person I'd mention who I think did very well was Christie. It was the pugilistic Christie, the tough Christie. He was the tough guy out there. I think he looked tough. I think Trump looked kind of mean-spirited and petty.
All right, now I got about a minute left here. Common Core. Bush and Rubio went after it. Here's what was said in the debate. Listen quickly, then we got about 30 seconds. Go ahead.
The Department of Education, like every federal agency, will never be satisfied. They will not stop with it being a suggestion. They will turn it into a mandate. In fact, what they will begin to say to local communities is, you will not get federal money unless you do things the way we want you to do it.
Common Core, then, should that be a main issue and somebody's got to stick to it and make it happen come the race?
I think all the comments around it, Ed, suggest that the more important issue has now escaped the toxic word bomb of Common Core, which is the need for comparable, comparative high standards. That was the emphasis of Bush. That was the emphasis of Rubio. Federal government should have never tried to take it over, should never try to take it over again. But we have to have a discussion about high standards, and that is a conservative idea. I know because I think I was there at the beginning.
And we are going to have you back to talk about it because absolutely it is one of those things that people need to focus on as we head towards 2016. Common Core must be on the ballot when it comes down to issues in this country. Secretary William Bennett, always a pleasure, my friend. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, Ed. My pleasure.
All right, it's our pleasure. Take care, sir. Let's spin from a Beltway insider to a political specialist, veteran analyst, commentator, co-author of Power Grab, Obama's Plan for a Dangerous One-Party Nation. Dick Morris joins us. All right, Dick, the first GOP debate is in the books. Did anybody gain any ground on Donald Trump?
Oh, yeah, I think they did. I don't know if it's on Donald Trump. I think Trump did well, very well, showed himself doing well in combat and gave as good as he got. But I think there were some clear winners in the debate who helped themselves further back in the pack. I thought the first thing was that Bush really underperformed, and Christie, I think, did very well. In case it did pretty well. And I think they're competitors for the Bush vote, and I think they'll take some points away from Jeb. I thought, secondly, on the conservative side of the fence, Cruz way outdistanced Walker or Rubio. His answers were sharp and aggressive. He had a very good theme to his remarks, and I think it was very effective. I also think Huckabee did very well. So at the moment, the leader of the conservative forces has been Walker, and the leader of the moderates has been Bush. And I think both of those were hurt. I think you'll see more Christie closing in on Bush, and you'll see Cruz and Huckabee closing in on Walker.
The one person you didn't mention in there, one of them, Rand Paul, did he lose a lot in his battle with Chris Christie?
Well, I think that he was sidelined, really. I think that his, while he has his rallying point of his libertarian stuff, I think that I don't think he's a major player in the race at this point. Christie, on the other hand, who was totally sidelined and completely out of it, really staged a hell of a comeback, and I think that he's going to be a potent challenger now to Bush, opposed to really an afterthought.
I got about 45 seconds left. What was your opinion of the questioning from the Fox analysts and the Fox commentators?
I thought it was ridiculous. I thought they were much more interested in burnishing the networks and their own journalistic reputations as tough hombres and impartial than they were in really getting a good debate that their listeners would be interested in. I think that they sort of chose to go for a Pulitzer Prize, not for giving the audience what it wanted. And rather than a thorough explanation and exploration of these candidates, they were just a series of gotcha questions. I thought in particular Megyn Kelly's grilling of Donald Trump was ridiculous. When she gets Hillary Clinton in her sights, she's not going to ask those kind of personal questions.
We are going to have to wait and see. And yes, I'll tell you, that would be fun to see if she goes right in, digs in on Hillary like she did on Donald Trump as well. Dick Morris, always a pleasure, my friend. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
All right, take care.
Great.
All right, now everybody has seen the debate. There it was Thursday night. You had all 10, and then, of course, the 7 in the JV. But let's focus on the main players here. This was the GOP debate. This was a chance for everybody to see what Donald Trump could do, what others could do against him. And, oh, yeah, by the way, there might even have been some issues in there as well. So there you go. Who do you think won the GOP debate? Did Donald Trump actually get out there and take this, his first shot out against the politicians? Go to NewsmaxPolls.com. Tell us exactly what you think. We'll talk about it here. Next up, numbers never lie. But you can bet everybody will be spinning tall tales about poll figures from that GOP debate. Stay with us. The fastest 60 minutes of news. The Hard Line continues.